what are you most looking forward to getting, practice going with a lot of new faces this year?
Well, I'm really looking forward to getting off the road. I haven't been able to spend as much time, obviously, as I would have liked to. But I like them. I mean, they're fun to be around, enthusiastic. It's so much more fun to come out and coach guys that are enthusiastic and want to be there. So they've been good. I just, hopefully it continues. It's a long season. But I like them, like being around them. They like being around each other. So should be good.
How about?
Hey, Dad. Missed you last night, by the way.
What was last night?
Bobby's sports party hosted by.
Sorry, you won't see that.
You won't see me there anymore.
Yeah. In your 100 years of coaching or whatever it's been, you've managed to win with a lot of different styles and different components in a roster. It's my guess that I think you might like the makeup of this team as far as the personnel a little bit more than you have the last two fairly less than successful seasons. Am I correct in that? And if so, why?
I hope we can get back to where we can guard people and where we can rebound the ball. I think if you can't do that, it makes it hard. It makes it hard to stop other people's runs. You can't stop anybody, obviously. You can't get second shots. I think if you look at just the most successful teams that we've had here, were teams that really could guard and they can extend possessions by rebounding the ball. And we couldn't do that a year ago. We couldn't stop anybody. And so when we hit a drought, we just couldn't stop the bleeding. And I think with this group, I think we're going to be able to really rebound the ball. And to this point, I think we're going to be way better defensively. So, it comes down to basketball's a game of runs, and you've got to be able to control runs, and it's hard to control them if you can't stop anybody. Some days you make a lot of shots, some days you don't make many shots. Yeah, and go back to the Villanova game in 2010 when we scored 12 points in the first half or something like that. It was so. I mean, you look back, we had 3 pros on that team. We scored 12 points, but we're still in the game because they didn't score a whole bunch either. We were able to guard. 3 games in the Big East tournament were not high-scoring games. They were games that were both teams guarded pretty good. And we couldn't win games like that. I think we're going to be able to do that.
Who do you see as being able to help alleviate that problem?
Well, I think everybody. I think Devin's much better. Devin's understanding is much better. I think obviously Lonnie was on the All Big 12 defensive team, I think. Tariq can guard. Tariq's got a really good feet. He's really long. I think Brandon gets better. Brandon blocked 30 shots a year ago and hardly played. I think he's going to give us a guy who can do a better job protecting around the rim. Elijah's bouncier than the guys we've had. Jonathan Holden gives us great length. And he's a guy that you don't have to run the ball to score. He can score without throwing the ball. You don't have to run plays for him. He'll score and he'll rebound the ball. So I think our strength is going to be that we've got a number of guys who are capable of doing a lot of things. I think evaluation on physically how to be able to guard. I think our freshmen, our two freshmen for being freshmen, they both are very competitive and they're both very athletic. So they're further ahead than some other freshmen would be, I think. And they're willing, I think they're willing to. That's a big part of it. You gotta be willing to do those things.
The one thing that the one thing that you did lose from last year was those shooters. Do you have, where are you in that?
Well, there's shooters and there's scorers.
You wouldn't believe what that was It was actually a look at the Kansas Fieldhouse apartments. I don't know why I was open up my window, but I'll get to that in a minute.
Now that Mike's interrupted me and I've lost my train of thought.
There are shooters and scorers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are, and it doesn't matter. I mean, as long as you score more than the other team, it really doesn't matter how you do it. We're probably not going to make as many threes. We probably won't shoot it as well from three. But we'll pass it better, we'll guard better, we'll rebound it better. Which I think more than makes up for that.
Do you think athletically this team is closer to the Cincinnati teams that you had with explosive guy can get to the rim and guys that can get over the rim with this group?
They were at my house a couple weeks ago, and they wanted to watch some Cincinnati tape. So they said, which games should we watch this side down here? So just pick and watch it. So I got it. They did the thing for me. So they had virtually all the games, and they picked, what would it have been? I think 1998 when we played Vegas in Vegas. And those guys are sitting there like going, no, they're not close to teams like that. I think anyone like 11 shots. But, well, 11 jumped over Kenyon and Jermaine Tate. Everybody else they had, by about 3 feet. Rebound dunked one in. It really turned the game.
Lonnie can get to the rim though.
Oh, no, it's not, we're not bad, but we're not like that. But that team couldn't shoot. Dover couldn't shoot, we couldn't shoot. But we didn't have to. We scored. We scored off our defense, offensive rebound the ball, we threw it close. We did a lot of things with it. My point guard, I'm telling you, could throw through that door. But he guarded, got the ball. We're not that athletic, but we shoot it better for the most part. I mean, John Carter shoots the ball now. He comes in and shoots it probably as well as any freshman that we've had. He really makes shots. So we can do good things. Don't get confused.
But this team's more athletic than some of the prior teams you've
Yeah,
had
they're
here.
probably more athletic than, 2010 we were fairly athletic. Devin and Wellington. Probably maybe overall, maybe more athletic than that team. We don't have a Joe Alexander. Joe was off the charts, I love it. But we're way more athletic than we've been.
When you look back, you were in a lot of pain last year, year before maybe even two. Did that have an effect on the team? Have an effect on you as a coach? Have an effect on your attitude? I mean,
I don't know how it would have affected that much.
I know it could make you more miserable.
I'd have had a hard time getting in a stance, but that's not really an excuse for them. I probably wasn't as active in practice. You know, honestly, my leg would get to the point where I just kind of had to drag it. And so I wasn't probably as active as what I had been prior to that. I mean, it's like, people would ask me, I feel great. This is the best I've felt in a long time.
And sometimes if every step hurts and everything you do, you don't wanna take steps. You don't wanna, and not only that, you wake up in the morning and you feel as good as you're gonna feel all day.
Yeah, but you block that out. I think it gets blocked out to a degree in practice. It gets blocked out in the game. I mean, I said on that stool because I couldn't get up and down. So, I didn't want to. When Billy takes my seat, I always sit by the scores table. As soon as I get here, Billy flops his back behind right down to my seat. He runs to get in there, so I can't use the table to get up. So Billy's not allowed to help me. Get up, so.
Technical foul.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe a little bit. It did keep that hard. Hard. Honestly, guys, truth is it.
So is the stool retired?
Stool? I don't know. It's easier. It is a lot easier. To move around. I know.
Well, Bolton and Macon, do they enter as 100% like a veteran, or their knowledge like a freshman? They've been here, but they haven't played. Where is their knowledge of what you want them to do?
Elijah did practice. I think Elijah's very much like a freshman, where, we try not to, but the truth of the matter is, we coached Jonathan until we started playing games. And then he was up basically on the scout team, and he knew probably more about what they were doing than what we were doing. So it's, as much as you want to say, sitting out a year and coaching them and all that, you don't coach them when you start playing games, you try to win. And Elijah wasn't there, he wasn't even in practice, so. All he did was, like a normal student came to the games. So they're not, Jonathan may be a little bit further ahead, Elijah's not.
Bob, in the past couple of years, you've kind of pointed out that it's been hard to get through to guys because they are new. You had so many of them out there at once. You have, I guess, a similar situation this year, but by all observations, you seem to feel a
It's
lot
because
better.
I was trying to be nice.
All right, well, okay. You seem like you feel a lot better about it, though. Maybe you're used to it. I don't know. Maybe these guys are just naturally further ahead because they played a couple years of college.
No, honestly, I tried the nicer, gentler, instead of saying they just don't listen. I said, well, they're new and, they got a lot to learn and all that kind of stuff. The truth of the matter is, you gotta make them accountable. It's hard to make them accountable when you don't have numbers. I look down the bench and we got walk-ons sitting there. We just didn't have numbers. You lose Elijah and Jonathan. You look down, we were kind of void of guys that you could put in the game. Now we're not.
Well, obviously you made comments already that you want to improve the guard capability of the team on defense. Is that something you want to lead to more points off of turnovers and more breaks for the offense?
Well, the team that wins generally gets the most easy baskets. So yeah, we're gonna try to create some offense from that defense. We haven't done that very well. But we really, honestly, Devin Evax did. If you think about it, the guy who really got a lot of things going for us defensively was Devin because of his length and his quickness. And I think Tariq can do that. Juwan gets his hands on a bunch of balls. But that's the thing that I noticed. The first thing I noticed about him watching him in AAU was he just got his hands on so many balls. Tariq's going to be that way his whole career. He's longer than you think he is. I think he's quicker than you think he is. And
much experimenting do you do in the preseason, moving guys around? Do a bunch, this group?
John, I got no idea what we're gonna do. I mean, I really don't. We sit in there and, you know, I like walk around and say to like Ronnie, who would you start? And he very rarely gives me the same five guys. I walk around to Eric and say, who would you start? And he doesn't give me the same guys. You know, there's a core guys. Everybody says Ronnie every time. Obviously, Devin. But, you know, it changes. And Larry the same way. I don't know. I mean, can we play Jonathan Holden at small forward? I don't know. Can we play Nate there? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Will we play three guards? I don't know. And it may depend on situations in games. It may depend on, you know, I mean, you think if you played Nate or Jonathan Holden at three with any two of those other guys, you're pretty big. And you're pretty long. And then you play Tariq at a guard spot. I mean, you got great length. So but you're probably not as good on offense. You can't spread people as much. So I think it'll depend on situations. But I think that's a good thing.
Best five, but maybe not necessarily the five best guys, right?
What, in your eyes?
No, in your eyes.
Oh. If they weren't the five best I thought would win for them, I wouldn't put them out there. But I've went a lot of years and didn't start my best five guys because I always wanted to bring that old Boston Celtic thing, bring somebody in who would make a difference. So if you started out poorly, somebody who could come in and make a difference. I mean, you know, Darnell Burton for a long time was one of the top 10 scorers in the history of Cincinnati, which has a pretty good history. And he never started one game in 4 years. And I think was, for the most part, generally our second leading scorer. I never started Terrence Gibson until Alan Jackson got hurt out of guards. And he was probably the best defender that I had in all my years there. They did it different ways. You know, we didn't start KJ's freshman year. Probably could have, should have, I don't know. But he came in and really gave us some pop off the bench. And then Casey Mitchell came in and gave us pop off the bench. You know, so I just, you know, things are going bad down there, and you look down the end of the bench and you go, oh God, that ain't good. You know, and then, you know, then you got teams, and I think this team will be that way. Like sometimes I'll like say, you know, Larry, who's down there? You know, who's ready to go? Because if I look down there, they all jump up. Then, you know, like last year, you look down there and they went trying to hide behind a guy in front of them. You know, so I mean, I just honestly think we got a lot of guys that we can put in the game. And you know, and as we go, we'll see. You know, obviously it'll be hard to play 12. Kevin Marina's out until January. By January, he hasn't jogged since the Georgetown game. So the chance of him having much of an impact probably not very good. Honestly, so we got 12.
Coach, you've had to, since you guys moved in from the Big East, kind of had a transition of where you recruited, who you recruited, now you coach. You know, it's a different league, different style. Does this team fit in now with the Big 12? Do you think this is a Big 12 team now?
I think so. I think we're bigger, we're stronger, we're obviously we're quicker at the guard spots. We're more athletic. Probably. You know, Justin, the thing that I think we all forget, and it blew me away honestly when I looked at it. You realize the Big 12 has the second most amount of draft picks of any team. I mean, ACC has 3 more, I think it is. Well, they have 16 teams, we have 10. Second most amount of first rounders. And they have 16, we have 10. Second most amount of draft picks. They have 16, we have 10. There's players. be honest, in the Big East, you had 10, and then you had 6. And most leagues are that way. And the Big 12's not that way. Virtually anybody can beat anybody, and do. And a lot of times it comes down to style of play. Like some teams play better against a certain style of play. Some teams don't play as well against the zone, whatever. So it's a harder league. I mean, it really is. It's a harder league. I honestly didn't know that. It was different when I was north and south. Guys we depended on that didn't really come through. We've always had, if you think about it here, we've always had, we had Joe Alexander, and everybody said, what do you do without Joe? And then Day stepped up. And then after Day stepped up, then KJ stepped up. And after KJ, nobody stepped up. And that was our problem. And you always look and think that one of those guys is going to make that jump. Just didn't have anybody make that jump. Until, really wanting a year ago.
Speaking of that, anyway, you keep hearing that Colton could be the guy that could make that jump. You saw him all year on the scout team. Did he do things on the scout team that bothered your players? I mean, was he a dominant like player even in that setting?
Honestly, Bob, he shot the ball way better last year than he is right now. From front. But he makes plays that we haven't had guys make in a long time. He makes plays because he's got great line. He's got an incredible touch around the basket. He's not. Devin has done a great job, I think, of really trying to learn how to score the ball traditionally in the post. Jump up and under. Jonathan may dribble this way and then throw it back over his shoulder that way, and it goes in. And everybody's like, that was lucky. Well, it's lucky until you watch it for about a year and a half. And for some reason, he's just got a great touch and it bounces around and goes in. It's not traditional. It's not kind of what you're used to seeing. And he makes plays because he's got great line. He's got great line. And he can really run. He can really run.
I was wondering, comes to Juwan, with you having a little bit more of an athletic team this year, does that kind of change what you're asking for out of him, or is he still going to be utilized the same way as last year?
I thought last year worked. I don't know that we can get it quite a spread. We can get it spread, but I don't know if we can get it quite a spread. I hope that we don't have to play him quite. I think he can be just as productive and not play as much. And I think he can be better on the defensive end because he's not asked to do so much on offense. And quite frankly, I think there were times at the end of games where he'd miss a shot or a free throw or not make a play because he was tired. I mean, the guy played almost 39 minutes a game, 38 something a game. And with that and with the way we travel and all that stuff, I mean, I hope we can keep him fresher. I hope we can get him off the floor a little bit and keep him fresher. I think he can be more productive in less minutes than what he was. I hope that's the case.
Practice starts up Friday. What are some of the key points you're watching right away? What are some of the things you try to hammer home right away with this team?
Well, I think one, we've got some guys that don't understand how hard you have to play yet. So I think that's truthfully, when you fight people to play hard, it's hard to coach. And we've basically done that. But you have to. You still have to try to coach them enough to win. So you're not fighting with them all the time about playing hard. And I think we've got a core of guys that don't play really hard. We have to bring those other guys up to that level. We have some guys who I understand if you don't play hard, then you're not gonna play. And then we've, fundamentally, we weren't really built fundamentally. When you try to piece things together, like we try to piece things together, there's a lot of things that get cracks. A lot sounder. Everybody's been asking me, are you gonna press? Well, I'd like to, but you have to learn to guard from the basket out. You can't go to anybody. So we're gonna get very sound at the basket.
Talked about last year's defensive struggle. You guys scored a lot last year.
So did they, though.
I mean, so as you try to transition this thing back to defense, is this a work in progress, or is this going to be easy with the personnel you have?
Well, Justin, here's what you have to understand. We may not score as many points as what we did, but we may be way better offensively. I mean, you can't say that last year we were better offensively than we were in 2010. We probably scored more points last year than we did in 2010. The difference is how long it took people to score at their end. And we didn't throw them the ball. We didn't give them easy baskets. We didn't. So they burned a lot of time and a lot of energy trying to score against us. So we may not score as many points, but I think we could be way more efficient offensively. There really wasn't. They just came down and got a pretty good shot. I mean, it really was. The time of possession was